We are igniting the blockchain. I am your host, Elizabeth. Join me and my guests as we talk about everything related to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Nothing we say is legal advice or investment advice. Do your own research. Have fun and let's get started. This is Elizabeth, also known as the Crypto Woman. Joining me today is Mark Peck from the Rocket Dollar. And this is an interesting time for all of us because the tax season has been extended in the United States because of COVID. And Mark has a very interesting proposition for all of us. So Mark, tell us about Rocket Dollar.
Yeah, thanks so much, Elizabeth. My pleasure to be here with you guys, and really excited to talk crypto and talk tax time. There's a lot of activity going around in businesses and personal finance across the world and the country, and people are impacted in so many different ways. What Rocket Dollar does, and where I focus a lot of my time, are on retirement accounts and the tax advantage strategies that go with those. So the good news is with the CARES Act, there have been quite a few arrows added to people's quiver when it comes to utilizing their retirement dollars. A lot of those have nothing to do with alternative assets and are functions you can use, a 401k through an active employer or a former employer to take out personal loans and find other ways to tap into your retirement dollars without paying penalties. So those are all great choices. I would recommend that everybody explore what their retirement account situation is and see if there's another lever they can pull for their own finances. But beyond that too, there's some amazing things you can do with crypto, digital assets, and ways that Rocket Dollar really differentiates ourselves when it comes to those strategies.
Here I am. I've got some crypto now, maybe like a lot of people. And I am a little bit confused sometimes about what my options are and what my responsibilities about crypto are. But right now I'm looking to invest more long-term. What can I do with my crypto and Rocket Dollar?
Well, what's great about Rocket Dollar's offering is it lets you acquire new cryptocurrency assets and digital assets through a retirement account. So you're going to be able to buy into fresh positions, and it does have to be separate from your personal assets. So it can't be the transfer of Elizabeth's, assets sitting in her personal wallet into a retirement account. It's going to come from retirement account dollars, which is all about getting new contributions in and rolling over old 401ks or IRAs you may have and using those to start a fresh portfolio. So Rocket Dollar gives you the tool, but it's going to be separate from anything that you already currently hold.
Okay, I'm a big believer in the future of crypto. I think it's a good future investment. So I want to load up a 401k with some crypto. So it's as easy as just going to Rocket Dollar and making an account?
Essentially, yes. There's some very specific order of operations that we want to follow. And like many things in the world of blockchain, being tactical and following those steps is really crucial to doing the job properly. And that's really what you're paying Rocket Dollar for, is our expertise with creating these account types, following the right path for you, so that once we've done our job, you're in control and you can truly exercise the mantra of my keys, my coins, or utilize a number of vendors that make you feel comfortable, whether those are wallet solutions through apps, whether they're online exchanges and custody agreements and arrangements. You're going to have the opportunity to choose any and all of those on behalf of your account. Rocket Dollar is just going to help you get there and then maintain that vehicle per the IRS and Department of Labor guidelines.
Speaking of the IRS, how do you help us deal with the IRS properly and legally? What's the method?
Yeah, well, what is wonderful about trading and investing through a retirement account is because it's tax deferred, because the gains within it are deferring over time and compounding until you take dollars out down the road when you're actually of retirement age, you're not paying and reporting any capital gains in any kind of short-term situations. So unlike your personal account, where the burden of transacting in digital assets and reporting that properly is a super high bar, and there's some great companies trying to address that issue, many good startups that have popped up over the years, and we are friendly with quite a few of them. But the good news through Rocket Dollar is that you don't have to report in that same way. So it helps minimize the responsibility to track that cost basis and report on gains, you don't have to do that through an IRA. Now, what you want to do is maintain the fair market value. So just like you need to tell the IRS, my total portfolio was worth $200,000 of stocks at the end of the year, you want to be able to say, and Rocket Dollar helps you report that the total value of your Rocket Dollar portfolio was $200,000 at the end of the year. It doesn't matter as much what that's composed of, as long as you can have a trail of what's actually exists in there. You do not have to pass through and pay or report any of those trades. So it really makes it so much easier to be a hodler in your personal account and a trader in your IRA, because you don't have to go through the hurdles to do the right thing in the retirement account. It makes it so much easier.
Oh, I have so many questions for you. So you say you're going to take the snapshot. You're going to do the evaluation as far as the value of my hodlings or my investment with Rocket Dollar at the end of every year.
We're going to work with you to achieve that. I wish we could say we had active data links with the Coinbases, Binances, Bitrexes of the world, the Geminis that we work with. It's not quite that robust now. It's a little bit of an interaction between you as the customer and Rocket Dollar's website. So as a Rocket Dollar client, you've got a dashboard that you can interact with and build a portfolio in. Think of it more as an active spreadsheet where you input data to us and we use that to create the reporting to the IRS seamlessly. So as long as you go into your dashboard and you say 10,000 invested in Coinbase, 2020, 10,000 invested in real estate, and 10,000 invested in a startup, all three of those positions add up under your Rocket Dollar portfolio, and we then pull the $30,000 total and report it to the IRS for you. It's not quite as dynamic through APIs and actual data sharing with the exchanges. There is still a human element where you as the customer have to report it to Rocket Dollar first.
This is an IRA. It's a Roth IRA?
It could be. There's a lot of choices, and the rules that we're talking about are not specific to any of those account types. So you could do this in individual 401ks, traditional IRAs, which is the most common. A traditional IRA is a pre-tax account that almost everybody listening has probably had either through an old 401k or like a rollover. And then the Roth is really that, exciting sort of newer choice that's come, really gained in popularity the past 10 years or so, which is after tax dollars. So on a Roth, you're not deferring the income in the current year, so you don't get a discount on your taxes. You contribute it after tax. But the beauty of that is when it's after tax, when you take it out when you're actual retirement age, it's tax-free. So you could, let's say, throw 10,000 into a BTC, Ethereum pair trade in a Roth IRA, and depending on what that looks like 30 years from now, be taking all of it out tax-free into your name.
And that is exciting for people who have hope for that future. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is how we manage this. For people who are familiar with IRAs through some sort of standard financial platform where you can, trade your stocks in and out of your IRA. Is that what you're saying we can do with crypto in Rocket Dollar?
That's correct. We're creating the same effect where you are able to choose a provider like a TD Ameritrade, like a Fidelity for brokerage accounts in the digital asset space. So for a lot of our clients, that starts with a Gemini, Coinbase, Kraken on-ramp for their dollars. So Rocket Dollar is getting their US dollars to the point of transaction with one of those liquidity providers. So you're going from US dollars into Ethereum. And from there, you can take it as far down the DeFi path as you are able to do so and have the aptitude to do so, right? Obviously, every sort of transaction out into the crypto verse adds risk of like skill and understanding, because Rocket Dollar is not there holding your hand. We're not going to be following up on what you did with the dollars, right? So if you use Uniswap to swap into some, altcoin and it doesn't perform well, that's going to be 100% up to your self-directing of the account to get you there and to maintain and track all of those different little pieces that you may bring into play.
So the self-directing aspect means we have more control of it, but we also have the responsibility for the outcomes.
Absolutely. That is a perfect way to state it. And that's really where a potential client needs to assess their own goals and real, from a real perspective, their ability to interact with this account type on a consistent basis. If you'd rather do something more passive, you may not need all of the tools that we offer. What's great is there's so many other ways to access digital assets and, self-direct stocks and other ways to at least get a leg up on your retirement. And that's where this whole tax time story sort of comes full circle, right? You don't have to go all the way through the path that we've described. That's really for a dedicated crypto head who feels strongly about it, has the skill set to do that. If this is your first time acquiring, a crypto asset, let's say, maybe you do that in a personal account at smaller dollar amounts and you don't do it through your retirement. But once you've built that skill set and you've built an account at Fidelity with your 10 grand in a Roth IRA, just trading stocks to get familiar with that process and get comfort will be very easy then to take another leap from that Roth IRA to a self-directed Roth IRA and go the crypto route. And that's where Rocket Dollar is really sort of the level up for most people, not necessarily their first touch point in a retirement portfolio.
That's a good caveat, something that we all need to understand, that we do have that responsibility within our accounts. So, we're all rushing now towards tax time. What are the benefits of doing this now, and what are the limitations?
A quick and easy benefit that everybody can appreciate, and I'll take it back to the Roth IRA example. So for IRAs, they're not sponsored by an employer. They're just Elizabeth's account. So Elizabeth's Roth IRA can still make a contribution for 2019. So because they extended the 2019 year filing, now you can still contribute either $6,000 if you're under 50 or $7,000 if you're over 50 for 2019. So you can still do that and get money in for last year, even though for most of us, we've sort of already, leapt ahead to the world that the crazy world 2020 is. And at the very same time, because it is 2020, if you have the disposable income, you could immediately contribute your $6,000 or $7,000 limit for 2020 also. So what that could do for you is really a starting account of, again, that, $10, $12, up to $14,000 starter Roth or starter account, where you're really kicking off this new venture of saving for your retirement in a meaningful way. I mean, if you can even just afford a few $1,000s for both years, you're starting off on the right foot. And so for people who put it off, that's an easy action item. There's some other more complex strategies depending on your situation that you could still take advantage of, but those honestly have a bigger impact. Whereas, the $6,000 contribution is something that everybody can appreciate. They can scale up and down for their own situation.
It sounds very exciting, but it sounds new to some people. And what does Rocket Dollar provide? I know there's a fee. So how much handholding do you provide for that fee?
Yeah, so we offer the same fundamental structure that's going to get you this direct access and this direct ownership either way. We do sell our product in two different tiers, one being a fairly online do-it-yourself version with email communication and email support, which oftentimes is the choice for our digital asset audience, versus a slightly higher human support level that's more expensive and provides more direct elements, including debit card and actual checkbook to interact with this whole account that Rocket Dollar provides for you. And so some of these physical things that are often more intended for our real estate audience and folks who invest in not just crypto assets. So a lot of times our fundamental choice is just a few $100s to get started and a flat monthly fee after that. And that's really the right choice for most of our crypto investors because it fits with their persona of doing things themselves, educating themselves and feeling confident in that responsibility, and just being able to manage the tools all online and not needing sort of the traditional touch points that other classic investments do.
And anybody who wants to know more about Rocket Dollar can go where?
We'd love to have you visit us at RocketDollar.com. My name is Mark Peck, Director of Business Development. Thank you, Elizabeth. Our team email box is info@RocketDollar.com, and we've got a phone number, 855-762-5383, if anybody wants to do it the old-fashioned analog way.
Very good. Mark, how did you get involved in crypto?
Well, I was working for a bank based out west and headquartered in San Francisco a few years ago, and so luckily, we had really smart and interesting clients who were doing this kind of work back in 2015, 16. And as we served those clients and heard about the amazing things they were building, me and some of the other guys on the desk and teammates, were excited to sort of dip our toe in the water. I wish I would have been more committed to that interest at those price points a few years ago, but I'm lucky to have a little something from the old days. This 4 years is a long time ago in crypto, right? But I've been intrigued ever since. I can't get enough. And so, I'm not a technologist, but I think I'm pretty good at understanding the way that money and monetary systems work together. So for me, I think blockchain is just going to help, hopefully revolutionize the way that dollars move, or not dollars anymore, but probably something a little bit more stable, if you will, over the next coming decades.
And how do you think this current COVID crisis is going to accelerate or slow down that movement?
I think it will accelerate, and I think the floodgates will open when any of the central banks choose to distribute dollars through or their own currency. Whatever bank does it, whether it's the euro, one of the Chinese or Asian monetary systems, or the United States, once they deliver digital assets as part of one of these whatever you want to call it, support mechanisms, I think that will be the floodgate. And it seems like Beijing has a big lead on us in terms of the state-run currency, but I guess there's still a lot of opaqueness there. And nobody really knows what that'll look like, but I think whoever does that well is probably going to win. And really just that will be a huge moment for the industry.
I agree with you. I'm watching what's coming out of China pretty closely too. And there could be some exciting news soon, I think. Is there anything that you would like to say about Rocket Dollar or crypto that we didn't cover yet?
No, I think we hit it nicely. And thanks again for having us. I think at the end of the day, what we are passionate about is empowering people to unlock their retirement dollars. And so if you fit that mold where you're interested and curious about learning more and working through something new, it works great for that level up that we talked about. And it covers a lot of wide things. And we want to cover not just crypto, but give you the access points to touch other private market areas, which have shown to be invaluable, whether that's investing in a startup. In one of these spaces, you can invest in the equity of AI, project or whatever intrigues you, to go alongside the bet that Elizabeth and I both share in terms of the capital appreciation of digital assets themselves. There's so many other ways to participate in ancillary functions. And that's what Rocket Dollar wants to do, is give you a tool with a lot of utility.
Mark, thank you so much for the time you took today and the other conversation that we had, and explained to me about Rocket Dollar. And I hope that other people have listened the whole way through and know a little bit more about your platform and what you offered as well. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Check out ignitingtheblockchain.com for materials referenced during this podcast and for a list of other conversations about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. See you around the block.